I, 27 female. Hate having S*X with my fiancé, 31 male. My fiancé and I have been together since I was 18 and he was 21. At first our relationship was good and so was the S*X life, but this stopped about 2 years into dating him. The frequency, the effort, everything. I will bring up the issue and it will be fixed the next couple of times we have S*X, but then he just reverts back into being lazy. My fiancé is incredibly romantic, takes me out on nice dates, plans our trips together for us, hotels, etc., but has absolutely no concept of replay, ENJ***, and will simply have S***X, get off, and then go to sleep. Sometimes when we have S***X I sit in bed staring at the ceiling wondering if I have made the right choices to end up here. We had briefly broken up in 2022 and I had S***X with 2 other people and I find myself imagining about those times any time he touches me. I don't tell him these things because hasn't been receptive to that type of stuff in the past, but outside of this our relationship is amazing. I get flowers, dates, we own a house and a garden together, we are both solidified in our careers, but the S***X is so awful I have to think of prior encounters to C***M and I'm concerned I will never be satisfied in this aspect of my life. Is that okay? Is it worth it? TLDR. I hate S***X with my soon-to-be husband, otherwise I am incredibly happy, he's loving, we own land together, he can be romantic, there is just no effort in S***X, and even then, it's awful. I, 23M, discovered photos of myself on my girlfriend's 23F phone that were taken before we even began dating. We've, me 23M, my girlfriend 23F, been dating for 8 months now, and she's the most loving girlfriend I've ever had. We knew each other from high school, although we were not from same high school and not particularly close back then. About a year ago, we started getting closer, and she then asked me out. Yesterday, while we were watching a movie at my place, my phone died, so I started playing games on her phone. I got bored and decided to check out her photo gallery. I swear I was not snooping her phone, she just had nothing interesting on her phone. Among the folders, I noticed one titled, Love Red Heart, with my photo on the cover. Curiosity got the best of me, and I opened it to find that every photo was of me. Some were even embarrassing shots. As I scrolled further, I was surprised to see that some of the pictures were taken before we even started dating, including ones from my social media and Instagram stories. I was more shocked when I stumbled upon photos of me with my ex, as well as shots taken in bars I used to frequently go. There were even pictures of me kissing other girls, most of which seemed to have been taken from a distance. She was definitely stalking me and took pictures of me. I sent all those photos to me that night while she was sleeping. I asked my closest friends about this, and they told me it's a very serious matter and that I should consider breaking up with her immediately. At first, I thought they were just trying to scare me, but they seemed genuinely concerned. I'm still struggling to wrap my head around this whole incident. That's why I've come here seeking some advice. Should I break up with her? She's the best girl I've ever been with, and I love her deeply, which is why I'm considering overlooking this incident. But is it acceptable for me to continue this relationship? Am I in any danger? TLDR. I discovered photos of myself in my girl's phone that were taken even before my girlfriend and I started dating. My friends advised me to break up with her, but I'm unsure if that's the right move. Boyfriend, M24, of 1 year told me how I, F24, eat is a deal-breaker for him. Where do I even start? We've been having issues for a couple months now and he says that because I'm such an emotional person, I always react unjustly to his logic. So I'm gonna try to tell this as unbiased as I can for insight on if I'm overreacting. It's Easter, I feel like my boyfriend seems off at his family party but I brush it off and get on with the day. It's nearing the end and he asks me if I want to go upstairs for a little, and when we get up there, he explains that he's bothered by our conversation from last night. Last night the topic of my eating habits came up. I should preface this with the fact that I am a very active person. I lift cardio 6 days a week, so it's not like I'm inactive. Also should preface with the fact that I had a pretty bad eating disorder from the 7th-10th grade, and then again freshman to senior year of college. I was extremely restrictive, counted every calorie, just had a terrible relationship with food and my body. Now, I can confidently say that this is the first time I've ever felt comfortable with eating. I try and make good choices as much as I can, but I allow myself to indulge without guilt. I eat enough calories and prioritize getting enough protein and vegetables. My Achilles heel is dessert. I have a huge sweet tooth and eat too much sugar. Like I'll have a protein yogurt and one of those protein muffin cups in the morning, and then after dinner I'll have a little dessert like ice cream or pudding or whatever. It's not like I'm gorging myself, but if I want dessert 4 nights a week I don't think that's that horrible of a thing. My boyfriend disagrees. He said that he thought a lot about the conversation and realized that if I don't start eating better, less sugar and, apparently, fat, i.e., eat what he eats, he'll probably resent me in the future when we live together because your partner is supposed to make you a healthier person. I don't completely disagree with him, but I also really don't think I'm eating bad enough to warrant that sit down. And I just feel like it isn't love if it just goes away because I'm not staying in my macros. It just made me feel like I'm not loved and accepted for just being me, like I have to change, and further start thinking about food again like I did when I had disordered eating. He said he's concerned about my health and we're gonna have kids someday and nutrition is important to be on the same page about, which I get, so maybe I am overreacting? It kind of ended up in a really bad place when we had to leave, so we still haven't talked about what happened. He wasn't comforting whatsoever during the conversation, which is something we've discussed before that ended up being talked about, and it progressed into me not feeling good enough for him unless I do exactly as he says and live my life the way he thinks is the right way. It was messy and things are really up in the air right now. What do you guys think? Am I making this a big deal for no reason? Am I justified in being a little upset, embarrassed? I hate the thought that I'm gonna be constantly thinking about what I'm eating in front of him. TLDR. My boyfriend says that since a partner is supposed to motivate you to live a healthier lifestyle, I need to change my eating habits so he won't resent me when we live together. I, 24 male, was on FaceTime with my girlfriend, 24 female, when I saw something she didn't want me to see. Hello, my girlfriend lives in another state and so we have to FaceTime a lot in order to stay connected. Today we were on FaceTime and she was showing me how many tabs she had opened when she passed by a tab that said, "Sug our daddies," and it showed a few pictures of a bunch of old men. She quickly moved past it, but I couldn't stop myself from saying, "Are we not going to talk about that?" She quickly stated that it was just something her and her best friend were looking at as a joke, that she only signed up because she wasn't making any money currently since she had just moved. I obviously didn't believe this, especially hearing that she actually signed up. I got upset and she somehow turned the blame on me since she was just at a low spot, and I was being unreasonable. Currently we aren't talking and she's asking for a break from talking. TLDR. Was on FaceTime with my girlfriend. When she was showing me all the Safari tabs she had opened, she accidentally scrolled past a Sug Our Daddy website and admitted to signing up since she was broke. I got upset and now we are taking a break from talking. So I asked the good people of Reddit one question: am I in the wrong for being upset about this? My 24 male girlfriend, 23 female, cannot keep her apartment clean and it's ruining our relationship. When we first started dating 2 years ago, she always had a messy room and refused my help when I offered to clean it. In August she got her own place, and I assumed since it was going to be our own private space and her first apartment she would keep it clean and take pride in it. I was wrong for assuming that. When I say a mess, I don't mean like a pile or two of laundry or some glasses on her nightstand. I mean dishes not being done, trash not being taken out for several days, things all over the counters and couches, food in her bed, always buying clothes or items she doesn't need and then throwing the bags and boxes into some closet or corner etc. I wasn't allowed to move in because of her lease agreement, and I was planning to move in this fall, but seeing how she keeps her apartment brought up some serious concerns for me. We had a conversation about this a few months ago because she knows I hate the mess, and every time I would come over I would clean to some degree, and when she'd arrive home to a clean house she would be grateful that I cleaned. She told me she had been discussing it in therapy and that it had to do with something rooted in her childhood. Now I have some psychological issues about keeping living spaces clean as well. I admit I can get angry and frustrated about the mess because it gives me anxiety not knowing how bad of a mess I'm going to walk into. I had lots of organizational issues as a kid and was always referred to as a messy kid. I got it together in that category by the time I got out of high school. Cleanliness and organization is a big deal for me. We compromised and I agreed to lay off a little if she kept the house cleaner than she usually did. I figured that's fair because after all, when you move in with somebody you have to get used to some of their habits. I noticed some progress with her. She'd have the house cleaner than usual or completely clean for short stints, but this never lasted long. I know progress isn't always linear, so I took this as a small victory, but as of late we've hit a big bump in the road. 2 months ago I discovered I had a tumor on my liver. I've had cancer before and they caught this at my yearly visit to my oncologist. So since January I've been through so many labs, MRIs, ultrasounds and a biopsy. It was a stressful time for everyone and especially my girlfriend. I haven't been over her house in a while because of all this. Well, recently I got good news that it was a benign tumor and I can continue on with my life. So on my day off I wanted to see her. I asked her what time am I coming over and all that, and she informed that her apartment was super messy. I told her I would clean, but she refused my help and we got in a big fight and things got really bad. She told she doesn't want me to clean for her and her house is messy because of she was dealing with stress of me possibly having cancer. I tried my best to keep it together and not get mad, but I told her we need to revisit our serious discussion about her unhealthy coping mechanism because this far exceeds the last 2 months. She said I had no right to tell her how she should live in her apartment. I told her that's a giddy excuse to keep up bad behavior and I couldn't allow it. I care very deeply for her and I don't want her to live in squalor. It's not healthy. I kept trying reiterate that above all I wanted to help her because I don't like seeing her continue this bad habit and I don't want to live with this bad habit. She started crying and saying I was judging her and not allowing her the space to process her emotions about my potential cancer. I apologized for making her feel that way, but I can't let her repeat this cycle. I know this is all rooted in some trauma or bad childhood experience and I do feel awful for her, but it's so frustrating dealing with this over and over again. I don't think I'd be a good boyfriend if I let her continue on this path, but honest. Lee, I don't know if can continue to be her boyfriend if she doesn't let me help her. I feel like it's a normal and reasonable want to have a clean place to live. What should I do? TLDR. My girlfriend of 2 years can't keep her apartment clean and now we're fighting about it and I don't know what to do.